Get up, so sing with me now.
Hiya, welcome back. I'm going to try to do something today, which is take care of this issue, which is, well, sunlight in your face when you're driving because the dash is shiny. I want to be careful because I don't want to destroy or make a mess of a perfectly good conditioned dashboard, as you can see. So I'll have to come up with some sort of solution for it. So we'll see what I can do. And the solution that I've decided on is I'm actually going to try and flock it. You know, it's all the rage and what have you, so I'm going to give that a go. Now, as you can see, we've been parked up under a tree for a bit, and yes, and we've actually got this is a representation and mimicking what it's like to drive in sunlight for the visibility. It's something like this when it's sunny. So let's have a look at our flocking kit. Let's just open this and see what we've got. This was the cheapest one I could find. I think it was about 12 quid. I usually get an adult to help me do some knives and stuff like that, but there's none around here, so I'll have to just hold on, just gonna stab myself. Yes. Right, so what's in the box? Let's have a look. And this is our eBay flocking kit. This looks like I can do a lot of damage with this, actually. I could probably make a good mess with this. Not quite sure how to use it yet. But before we look into that, and before we actually work out how to use that, let's set the dash out. I was actually going to do it in the car, this. And I was looking at videos of other people doing this on YouTube to see what was involved, really. It looks pretty simple, but I'm still going to fuck it up. And I thought, I'll do it in the car. You know, no one else was doing it in the car. So I thought, well, I'll look at what's involved in taking the dash out. And to take the top of the dash out on these, just this bit, is actually really easy. Or it looks really easy. We'll soon find out. So, let's take the dash out. Right, so let's take the dash out. To start with, we're going to do some stuff that I've done a few times on this channel. So we'll take this off, which we've done multiple times. Recently changing the colour of the speedo. So 2 screws. Remove them. Then carefully remove this. Perfectly demonstrated. And then we need to take this off, pull this out again. So we flick about our knob a little bit, pull that out. And then there's a screw behind there. We'll use the wrong screwdriver for because it's what's in my hand. And then miss the screw altogether. And then we carefully remove that bit. And then we retrieve all them plastic clips because they always fall down there whenever I pull this out. On the numerous occasions I've done that. So let's get our fillets back. I'm going to take these 2 screws out. Now, ideally, I should probably disconnect all that, but can't be bothered. Now, if this video goes like muted at any point, I just sort of add this. Some of my videos have got muted sections in now, and that's because, well, music playing in the background and stuff. YouTube don't like it. So when I've turned the radio on and shit like that, so they just mute it. So if you look at any of my videos, or if it happens in this one, that's why. So I might add that in there. Right, next, we also have, open this door. We also have a screw there. Another Phillips. I should probably do this in sections, but I'm sort of just filming it all in one go. Right, hold on. Need to take the speaker grills off. Because we've got to take our speakers out. These speakers that I put in on a previous video. Wow. And 10mm. Yes, the extension doesn't fit. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of bits and bobs on this section that I've already done in other videos. Yeah, I'm going to take the extension on. Probably should have stopped filming, but now this might be different for you because I've put these massively expensive Pioneers in and I've adapted the wiring, so my wires are like that, whereas yours will probably be on a plug if you're using standard speakers. So in mine, I just unplug them with spare connectors, which nice sharp edges from when I sort of gently cut all that off, it's sort of ripping all the glove off. Anyway, we've got the speaker out and we can see that there is a 10mm there which we need to take out. And also, we are going to have to take, let's zoom back out, we have to take the trim panel off. I'll only show this on one side because it's the same for both sides, so. This should just pull off. Yes, it just pulls off. I'll put the rubber back on because otherwise the door won't shut properly. It's gone upside down, this, hasn't it? Right, so I've unplugged the speaker and pulled it out. And then as I pointed out, there is a 10mm here, which you can't see because the wires are in the way, but there is a 10mm there. And we'll remove that without cracking the windscreen. Should have brought the buzz gun actually, really fast. That's not even tight. Now let's take this out, but we don't really want to drop this down the back of the dash, but it's probably going to happen. Might want to bring a magnet with you as well, but I'm unprepared as ever, so I haven't got one. And that's the nut that we've took out with the others. Right, so now I've done that on the driver's side, I'm going to do exactly the same on the passenger side. I'm not going to film it, it's exactly the same, no point. Now there is some more screws which I will come back to. Also what I plan on doing is this hood, I'm going to make the wire come through the dash, I think. I've not decided fully yet, but the wire running across the top of there, it's a bit of a bodge. Nothing on this car is a bodge, is it? I mean, everything's perfectly done. So to make it neater, I think I'm going to drill an hole there and feed it through the back, but it depends what's underneath. Should be all right. So anyway, I'm going to take this speaker out, take all this panel off, and then I will come back. Right, so I've taken that all off as I said I would. These don't need to come off yet, but I might as well pull them off because otherwise I'll end up losing them. Now under here there is a bit of a piss flap in here, and ow, bastard. Right, so I've had a look at this and I can't really see how it comes out. Now it's got a plastic white tab on the side of it, so I think it's something to do with that. Hold on, actually. Aha, right. that slides backwards. Let's get it so you can actually see. There's a white tab on the side of it, and when it's in, you sort of squeeze it and pull it towards you, and then it unplugs. So let's take that 10mm out. It's not a 10mm, it's a 12mm. Try again. So that's that out, and I think we're ready to pull the dash out now. Right, so it feels like it's still connected actually, but let's give it a good tug. See if I still got it. I missed a screw. Feels like I've missed a screw. Or something. Let's just reassess the situation. Yeah, I can't see any bolts holding it in anywhere, so I'm going to give it a bit of a pull. It feels like there is something connected down here, but I don't think there is. I think it's just from 15 years of not being pulled out. I'm going to need both hands for this, I think. But I think what I need to do is I need to squeeze this and pull that at the same time and pull it in a certain orientation which is suitable for the application. So I'm going to try that, see what happens, and I'll let you know. Yep, just need to pull in two-hand job. And clips into these down here with these little blue shitters, that same as what's on radio. So now we have that out, I'll go and pull it at the other side. Take this off before we lose that as well. That won't come off. Right. I think that should be out. I think that should be ready to lift out. Need to open the door because it's hitting the mirror. There we go. And that is one dashboard carefully removed. And that's what you're left with. So, while I'm here, when my hood, I'm going to move the wiring for that. I'm going to make it so it's a bit better. So I need to pull it through. I mean, I don't know if there's enough room here to, but if you need to get to the heater motor or anything, this is where you do it. I'm going to run the wire just up here, and then I'm going to bring it through the dash in the centre, and so it's not got it all trailing everywhere. But yeah, that is what it looks like underneath. Now with our wire in the centre. So let's get on with fucking this dash. Right, so as you can clearly see, we have the dash removed from the car, which, well, I'm going to get it ready for a good flocking. Like I said, I wasn't going to take the dash out, but it was like 20 minutes or something to check it out, and that was well over filming it. So before we do anything, what I've got to do is, I want the wire for this. Now this I'm going to keep in the same place. I'm not sure I'm going to stick it down yet, but well, there's a way. And the port is there, so I want the wire to come out about there-ish. So, accurately measured as always. Don't know what's underneath there really, should probably look at that as well. Yes. That might not work actually. Right, yeah it will, because there's a gap there. So, like I said, accurately measured as always. About there. Right, so that's our hole for the wire to come out of. So next thing that we need to do is need to mark this up where this is. Mask off the bits I don't want to get it on. Not going to do that bit and stuff. So mask that off a little bit, and then we've got to clean it. Right, I want to put this back in the same place as where it is, or as near as possible, because this is where it lines up to the windscreen. So I think I'm just going to hot glue it. So if I put a mark around it there, and I won't put any flocking on that bit, and then let's just set that pad off, line it up, I'll draw around it, which I'm going to need 2 hands for. like so. Right, so we're approaching the point of no return now, and we've got to clean dash off. So probably not really going to use this because it's for cleaning brakes, and this isn't a brake, but this is what I'm going to use. I'm just going to give it a wipe over, and it's just a cleaning motion, you know, like that really. See if the dashboard melts. Hasn't done so far. Got some dirt off, so I'll do that everywhere. Get any grease off and stuff. Don't know how sensitive this glue actually is. You might just be able to lather it on anyway, but probably should clean it. So I'll clean it up and then I'm going to mask it off. I said this like I've done this before and I know what I'm doing. Actually not a fucking clue, but we'll see what happens and see how it turns out. Right, so there's a couple of years of dirt off the dashboard. So it's a bit cleaner now, and I'm going to mask off the edges that I don't want to get glue onto because I'm not that neat with a brush. Right, so masking tape, ultra neat body shop level masking job of that. This here, this is the only bit I've masked up because that's the only sort of straight line where I want to get it so that it's neat really. The rest of it is covered up like here, doesn't matter so much, it's covered up. This, I want to actually flock it because that's one of the things that you can see in the window which is just annoying. And everything else is just basically, I'm doing it with a brush, so I can be neat enough with that. Well, I estimate that I probably can. So, next thing to do is actually flock it. Right, so this is a closer look at the flocking kit. And I've got a suspicion that it's not actually going to be big enough. Looking at the size of that brush, don't think that. I think the glue would dry before I finished. You got this to make a funnel light off, but I'm just going to use a really clean funnel from the workshop to pour that in there. And that's the applicator. Now, once again, not much confidence because all the ones I've seen when I've had a look how to do this on YouTube, they have like a Pringles jar that you wank off with holes in ends of it, and I haven't got that, so we'll just see what happens. If it goes wrong, you know not to do it, so we'll learn something either way. Now I need to pour that into there, but I'm going to struggle, so I'm just going to pour that in there. Right, so this is like the fibres that we're pouring in. Well, that's gone well. Hang on. Well, that's not going to come out the applicator if it gets stuck in that funnel, is it? So we have got some instructions here, which I've not really been following, but it says there, make sure it's not clumped together. If it is, use a sieve, which I do not have. So I'm just going to hope for the best. Well, that's the closest thing to a sieve I've got, and it seems a bit better. At least it's going in bottle now, so we're with half a chance. Right, so definitely the point of no return now. I'm going to do a test patch. Not sure how this is going to go on actually, and I also think I've not got anywhere near enough. So I'm going to start with the driver's side. Yes. I'm going to start with the driver's side because that's where I'm more bothered about it. This is looking promising. Probably shouldn't be doing this in direct sunlight neither. Oh well, that doesn't come out very well, does it? Oops. So we're half done, and I seem to be running out of flock and glue. But I'm just going to see how far I get with it before it runs out. Carry on putting it on. It's hard to film whilst doing it, but well, as you can imagine, you just got to squeeze it on, put the glue on, and then squeeze it on. I think I've screwed up a bit here because the glue doesn't look like it's thick enough, and now I can't add any more. So I'll try not to do that on the other side. But let's see how we get on. Right, so we have completed the flocking process. and as you can see, I've sort of flocked it up a bit. The problem I was having is that applicator is so shit that, oh, it started to rain as well, which is pretty good. Probably not helping the situation, should probably move it. Will in a minute. Anyway, you put the glue on, and the applicator is so shit that it takes ages to apply, and the glue's gone dry. So then you're putting patches of more glue on it, and then it ends up looking like that. Won't know what it looks like until it dries anyway. So, leave it to dry, overnight, throw it back in car, see if it's worked. Well, it's drying. I'm not holding up that much up, to be honest with you, but we'll see, well, shortly, how it turned out. That's where they belong. Right, so I'm not happy with it, and it's unlikely that I'm going to make it any worse, but I'm going to try. It needs adding more to it because, as I've said, when I was adding the flock, the glue was going off faster than I could add the flock because of how shit that is and how slow it comes out. So I'm going to add some lacquer on top. I can't add any more glue onto it because you're just going to move it all around because you can put it on with a brush. So I'm going to try spraying a bit of this on and then seeing if I can add more flock that way. See, like I said, can't make it any worse now, can I? And hopefully the flock will stick to the lacquer, but it probably won't. I mean, not very well anyway. That's actually a better finish than the glue if it sticks, so I'm going to carry on doing that for a bit. Right, so with a bit of perseverance and a bit of lacquer, it is coming up a bit better. I can target it better and add a bit more. Don't know how well it'll stick, don't know if it'll stay on, but like there you can see there's none on it. So, a little bit of lacquer on it, get it nice and juicy. Look at it, nice and neat. And this is where it runs out for this. Like I said, I don't know how well this will stick. I don't know how well it'll probably just fall off as soon as, you know, I open window and there's a bit of wind, but, well, better than not doing now. Right, I'm finished because I've run out of flock now. As far as touching it up goes, I don't know if you can see now, this is actually got a layer on it. The other side, but to try touching up the glue quite stupidly, ended up looking like that. So, I think the lacquer trick has worked alright actually. Overall, the finish is pretty shite, but it's not dried yet. We'll see how it looks. Let's take this off. Now the other thing is with the glue, what I think is important about the glue itself is I think it's like plasti dip. So if you don't like it, you might be able to peel it off. If you look at how it's coming off there. Don't know, never looked into it. Probably should have done. But yes, see what I mean? It's sort of pulling it all off with it. Right, there we go, close enough. Right, so anyway, wait until tomorrow. Throw it back in and drive it some sunlight and see if we can see. Oh yeah. Well, I think on. I'm going to put this back on. And I can just about see the line there of where it was. And it's going to end up being back where it was, which is about there. So, just going to use that. Hopefully it'll be in the right place, because I'm not moving it once it's done. Hopefully it'll line up to the thing on window. But, yeah. Yes. So I'll leave that to set, won't take long, get rid of all these bits, and then tomorrow give it a blow for the nail line, see how it's come up, put it back in the car. So it's now the next day. Yes. So obviously it's absolutely pissing down, but it's time to get this back in. Getting rained on, probably not good for it, but it's just going to hide all the defects really if it's pissed right through. Anyway, I'm going to throw it back in. Can't really do that whilst filming, so I'll just put it back in and we'll see what we're up to. Alright, so it's in the car now. Anyway, whilst we're in this compromising position, I do need to feed the wire this HUD up and get it plugged into the hood. I need to feed that through there, which I'm going to do. Finish isn't what I'd hoped for, but I mean, form over function. This is a race car after all. You know, it doesn't matter too much what it looks like. It's just, like I say, functionality. Right, I'm going to feed that through. Try and find the hole. Seems to be difficult. And then I'm going to put the dash into the place where it belongs. Well, that was way more of a struggle than what I expected. What a ball it and that through was. Right, now I'm going to try and put the dash back into where it belongs. So, might have to open the doors and get wet. It's absolutely pissing down. Which is just lovely. Now it's windy in here as well. Right, so I'm going to have to feed them wires through and get that into place before I go any further really. Right, so I've got the dash sort of in place, and sort of gives you an idea of how good it looks. And I haven't put that back together yet. All I've done is put it on them. As you put the dash in, locate it on them, and then it drops into place. So now I need to clip it back together. That was dangerous, like the flocking didn't all come off. And then, you know what? We'll do a montage putting all the screws back in. So there we are, all back together. That lines up as well, like it does from where I'm sitting. It's not doing on camera. Anyway, this. Can't tell you if it's going to work in sunlight because I ain't got any. But yeah, it should do, it's flocking. Now, what I would say is if you're going to do this, then I would recommend you buy a good flocking kit, because the one I used was pretty shit, and as you can see from the results, it's pretty shit. Now obviously it looks worse than it is, it's pretty bad, but it looks worse than it is because it's got rain and everything on it. So yeah, we're back together, and that's it. Like I said, I can't see how it is in sunlight. I can't see if it stopped the reflection. It's supposed to. It's sort of tried and tested, and I think that's all I can really do for now. I was going to say is, like, you know, I mean, this isn't a video on how to flock a dash, because there's plenty of them on YouTube. I mean, there's loads of good channels on YouTube if you want to watch one of them. I mean, it's like Chris Fix and what have you. There's people who show you how to do stuff properly and do a good job of it. And then there's mine. So if you want to, I mean, on these C1s, you know, CityBugs, I mean, if you go on Dab DIY, you know, he does a good job, or Anton's channel. You know, they all do proper jobs. But that's how mine's turned out. Yeah, not entirely happy with it, but like I said, form over function, it'll do for now. I've sort of struggled in the rain here a little bit. We're a bit of a, well, as you can see. But yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell me how I could have done it better. I already kind of know I could have done it better. But yeah, I'll see you next time. I mean, from outside the car, actually, it doesn't look horrendous. And right, as with anything like this, the further away you get from it, the better it sort of gets. Anyway, see you for now.